inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything.
Welcome, Easy Build RC, and welcome to the rest of the vetters out there, and our mods, especially for running the live chat today. Thank you guys so much. I'm a little under the weather today, so I decided I was just not going to put out a video, but I said, you know what? Let's just talk. Let's go live and let's just talk. I think I can pull that together today. So you might hear me a little, I don't know what the right word is. But whatever. So we're going to do this. So it's going to be all chat today, guys. Just hanging out. That's it. We're going to talk disclosure, right? Is the truth out there? All right. That's what my... Oh, I thought that said the truth is out. It says I want to believe. But I do want to believe, right? But is the truth out there? UFO disclosure. Where are we at with everything, right? Let's just have a talk about that today. Because a lot's going on. A lot of people are, I don't know what the right word is, like disinterested, maybe frustrated, unmotivated, because we keep getting told things are coming soon, but they never come. More things come. I guess that's not entirely true. It's an odd journey. Things come, more things are revealed, but it's always like, for down the line. Right, if that makes sense. So like when is that day gonna come? Right. When is the day that we all find out across the globe that we are not alone? Right. So I thought we'd just go over some of this stuff, some of these frustrations, and also be a little optimistic. I'm just generally an optimistic person. That's just how I am, right? So me personally, and maybe I can spread some of that love and optimism around and hope, right? Because it is very easy to get disenfranchised in this community, especially if you dive in deep, right? If you go into the deep end, right, it's because it's all about managing expectations, as I've said on this channel many times, right? Managing your expectations, because that's what happens. Each of us on our own accord set these bars in front of us, right? And if those bars don't get met with the information we want, we're disappointed. Some people's bars are set low. Some people's so high they can never be reached. Some people in the middle and everything in between, right? So if you're watching this or listening, you might be completely hopeful for what's happening, or you might be completely frustrated with what's happening. It also has a lot to do with whether or not you've had a personal experience or not, or a lot of people who have. Right. Gotta lift my seat up here. Sliding down into the unknown. So, but look, the biggest thing we have to look forward to is this hearing coming up in November, right? November 13th. Now, they do say, look, there's always a small possibility that doesn't happen. But I truly believe it's going to happen. Now, it could change. These things happen. It's politics, right? With the election coming up, we don't know. But my guess is this will go through. And who will testify? And what will they testify about? And will that be the biggest needle bump, right? The biggest needle move? I think for a lot of people, yeah, this hearing, right? And especially what comes out, what comes on the record, right? Who testifies and about what? We had Global Disclosure Day the other day. I made a great video yesterday. It's doing really well. So if you haven't, if you don't want to watch a 4-hour presentation, you can go watch my 20-minute video and get a summarization of some of the things they talked about. at that event, and it was a lot, right? There was a lot of information presented, but not so much any evidence or proof. Now, I get it. It's a presentation, that sort of thing. But that would be nice because in some ways, and again, I'm just spitballing here. Okay. Please don't hold me to anything, but I'm just spitballing, right? I have these thoughts like, you know, I feel like sometimes, like, I keep getting told all this stuff so that I stop asking for evidence and proof, right? Because, I'm being told, oh, it's the preponderance of evidence across the globe, Patrick, that's already here, right? You don't need to question whether this is real or not. We're past that, Patrick. Are we? Are we past that? Because I'm not. And I don't want, and I don't feel bad for saying that. Okay. I don't. And I want to say that personally so that other people that are watching and listening can, if they feel a little whatever, can have the strength to say that too. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right. I haven't crossed that finish line to know if this phenomena is non-human. I believe there's something going on, but I don't know the explanation, even with everything that's out there. Because again, I have yet to see, you know, the proof. Talk about a lot of proof and that other people have seen proof, but I have yet to see it. And I think that's okay. And I think people who come out with claims and stories and tell us this information, which I'm grateful for, I think they also have to understand that some people, their bars, remember that I talked about at the beginning, their line in the sand that they set up, right, for their expectations is proof, a craft or bodies, like the thing you said exists, not stories, not documents, not a paper trail. I honestly, all of that can be faked. Even videos can be faked. Photos can be faked. All of this can be faked. Stories can be faked. So I am holding out, at least to cross that line. Now, I often have to remind myself there's something to this, right? Because not because of the government search for transparency and disclosure. To be honest with you, that's sort of a separate thing I keep on the side. That's like if I'm riding a motorcycle, that's my sidecar, right? Is that journey for disclosure through the government. Former government officials, hearings, all of that stuff. Great. Cool. I'm over here. My main focus are the everyday Joe who has an experience and the millions, maybe tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions across the globe who have probably had some sort of mysterious high strangeness experience. And that is fascinating, right? What does that mean? What is happening? Is it this non-human interaction, right? This other intelligent life that we don't understand? Or is it a bunch of prosaic explanations all mixed together? Could really the mind be tricking so many people across so many centuries? I mean, if we're keeping all possibilities open, that's still a possibility. We often say we don't understand the mind, we don't understand consciousness, we don't understand the limits of our knowledge, right? Well, unfortunately, you also have to keep that in the basket, even if the probability is low, just like aliens. You also have to keep in mind that maybe the mind is playing tricks. I don't know. Again, or a mix. And at the end of the day, that's more than likely where it is, right? The truth is in the middle somewhere. Some people have had some sort of crazy experience. And I can go so far as to be like, yeah, I believe what they're saying and I think they're credible in this. But that doesn't mean I have to then jump to, yep, aliens are here. It's like I believe them and their thing, but I didn't experience it. And without any proof, it's hard for me to jump into that camp with them. But I can still respect them, appreciate them for coming out, appreciate them for coming forward, and appreciate to tell these stories. But I'm talking to so many people who are just telling me, Patrick, I'm sick of it. I want answers. I want the proof. I'm tired of this carrot being dangled in front of me. Right? I'm tired of being told it's coming. I'm tired of the people that aren't in the government who are making claims and reporting on stuff saying they also can't tell me everything. Right? So you've got so many filters through the information. You've got the government hiding stuff. Then you've got the people who have those connections to the government, their sources and whatnot, who report on it. They also keep stuff hidden, right? To us. I mean, that's just what I'm hearing, right? Now, I often push back and say, look, it's a tough game. If you're going to jump into the game of having sources and trying to tell stories and make claims and bring new information to light, you're going to have to deal with some of that pushback a little bit, you know. Is it justified? I mean, teach their own. I don't know. I'm not really here to decide that. But it's understandable, that frustration, you know, because now we're putting in charge this person that we don't know as being another gatekeeper, essentially, right? Deciding what to release and what not to release, what to believe from their source and what not to believe. And then the you know, the faucet of information, right, comes through this one person or multiple people, right? So I don't know. Um, I'm just hearing a lot of things, right? I'm hearing a lot of frustrations and I get it. And it kind of comes in waves in this community, to be honest with you. And again, everyone's on a different journey. You know, you got the rugged UFO researcher who's, I've been doing this 40 years. You don't know anything. To the person that just kind of got into it and is all excited and, you know, asking questions that you asked 30 years ago, you know, and we're all trying to get to the information together, right? And some people see this as just a loop. Well, we've already been through this. It's just happening again. Other people are excited about what's happening and what's coming. I think it's just how you look at it, right? Which again, this is nothing new I haven't spoken about on this channel, right? It is the glass half full scenario in a lot of ways, right? Because depending on, you could look at, we're at the best place for UFO disclosure we've ever been, if you wanted. We're having hearings we've never had, whistleblowers coming out. We've never had a push for UAP legislation. No matter if it gets gutted or not, it's still, some of it is passing through, right? The National Archives, even though that got pushed back a year, getting all this information. Again, right? Nonprofits, content creators, podcasters, right? Books, documentary, that things are coming out more in a way they never have before. So you could argue we're in the best place we've ever been. But the main goal we have not achieved, right? Which is just basic disclosure. And I know people say, no, we already have disclosure. We don't. You might have disclosure in the sense that you believe it and you've seen enough to change your mind, or you've had a personal experience. So in your mind, there is no doubt, as Carl Nell would say. But for a lot of people, we haven't. Now, do we all need to be on the same page? I mean, that'd be nice, but I mean, that's never going to happen, period. Even if the president came out and showed a crap, and there would still be people not on board. I mean, it would actually take the NHI to be interacting with us across the globe in a very open, public way, you know, not the clandestine, secretive way it happens now. Right. So I don't know. Just throwing out thoughts here. I'm going to pop this up. This is from Andrea. Thank you so much. Look at that. Hey, 0.01 percenters just think 99.9% of people are clueless. Well, I would actually say 100% of us are clueless. Nobody knows what's going on. And if they tell you they do, they're lying. Nobody knows. That's kind of the problem and the beauty of it, right? The beauty of it is we're all in this together. The problem is we're all in this together. You know, we don't know anything, right? Like I said in my video yesterday, again, I'm kind of pushing back on my own comments, right? It's like at the end of the day, no matter how skeptical you are or how much you believe all of this, we don't know much of anything. We know we're on a rock spinning in space. At least that's what we think for now. Right. And we're in this massive universe that ungodly size, or godly size, however you want to look at that. We don't know anything really. We think we do. It's like humanity has what is it? The Kruger, or what is it? Dunning-Kruger? I forget the term. Right? Where you learn a little bit about something and now you think you know a lot. That's where humanity is. Right? We think because, well, we landed on the moon a few times. We've sent a probe out here and a little robot to Mars, and we put satellites in space, and we have airplanes, and we have the internet. We have this sort of technology. Well, we are just so far ahead, y'all. We are so advanced. We got it all figured out. We know the limits of our knowledge. You can't go faster than the speed of light. That's impossible. You can't do this. You can't do that. This is impossible. Have we not learned anything throughout history? We don't know anything. And the biggest surprise could be just around the corner. Imagine finding out. Imagine you're alive when it's found out that Earth was in space and a planet and moving around. There were other planets, right? Like, imagine finding that out. I mean, that is a mind-blowing reality shift. Because you're on this planet looking up at the sky and the sun. You don't know what the hell the sun is, the moon, what these stars are. You don't know what anything is. The sky, you don't even know what you're on, how far down it goes. Little did you know you were on a circle and it went to the other side, right? Like, but you didn't know. And then what a reality shift to find out, holy shit, there's this entire universe around us that probably has more of us. So I definitely push back against this. We can't do this, and that's impossible. It's not impossible. Now, to make the claim, you do need to have some proof behind it for me to believe it, right? Christopher Hitchens once said, what was it? Oh, a claim made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. And I believe that to be true. Right? If someone makes a claim, shows zero evidence or proof of that claim, I can rightfully dismiss it without any evidence either. Right? When people say, prove that's wrong. Why? There's no proof to show it's real. Why do I need to show proof? the claim of proof lies on the claimant, right? The person making the claim, they're the ones that need to provide the proof that something is whatever they're saying it is. Do I think it's healthy to just sit back and wait and see what's going on? Yeah, absolutely. We were talking in our Discord yesterday, and I don't know who said it. Could have been me. I'm not sure. If it sounds smart, I said it. If it sounds stupid, someone else said it. What I'm about to say. Um, you know, it's okay to live in the land of I don't know. Right? It's okay to say I don't know and live in that land of I don't know. Right? How much of life do you actually know? And I don't mean just scientific, right, our understanding of reality, but I'm just saying, like, for instance, what makes a good relationship? You don't know. Nobody knows. Everyone does it differently. How do you raise a kid? There's no real answer. Right? How do you run a society? Right? We live in the land of I don't know. So what's wrong with saying I don't know to some of these other things? Everything around us we don't actually know. We do the best we can. We do, best informed, most informed decision, most informed action. But the truth is nobody knows anything. How do you start a business? What's the best way to run a business? There is no real answer. What's the best way to lose weight? What's the best way again, you know what I mean? Now, people will say, yeah, Patrick, but there are objective facts. I hear you. Right? Is there a sun? Is there gravity? If I throw this apple up, will it fall? If I jump off this building, will I fall down? Yes. And there are objective facts as far as we know now. I think that's okay to say too, right? Like, we can't go faster than the speed of light with the knowledge we have now. And I think that's all that the public wants from the science community is I understand you don't want to cross the line into this is real, but at least be a little open-minded about the possibility that it could be real. That's all it is. And then the science community just wants from the public to push back a little bit more before definitively saying something is true or not or what, you know what I mean? Essentially want the same thing. Be a little more open-minded. Be open-minded that you're wrong and be open-minded, right? That you're wrong on both sides. And that's fair. It's like we're almost fighting the same fight, you know? So that division is unnecessary. You know, some people may claim to know the truth. But one thing I do know to be true is that the best path forward for humanity is to try to work together, no matter what that truth is, or multiple truths that we encounter. And if there is this other species on this planet, well, it would be in our best interest to all be getting along here. How much is it going to matter if aliens like invade our planet? Are you going to be like, well, don't cross the border over here? It's like we would have no choice but to come together or face annihilation. I sound like a villain on Star Trek or something. Or face annihilation. Right? That's one thing I know we can do is just try to get along better, be more respectful of each other and our journeys in this and trying to understand it. Forcing someone to believe something so you feel better about your belief, that just shows you don't actually probably believe what you believe. And how much do we need society to believe this to be true to move forward with it? Is there a percentage? Is there a number I'm not aware of? Well, if 72.9% of the population agrees this is true, then we can't, And what is your daily life going to change? If today, if in 1 hour the president comes out and says aliens are real, they visited, and then just ends the press conference, what are you going to do? Continue to live your life. So I think this sort of, myself included, waiting for this big moment is where the letdown comes from. Because just ask yourself, do we need that big moment? Can you not find disclosure for yourself? And I'm talking to me too here, right? Because at the end of the day, that's kind of all we care about, our own journey through this. Yeah, we respect other people's journeys, but deep down inside, right, when we lay our head down on that pillow at night, it's just us. It's just you in your own head, your own thoughts. And that's your world. That's your earth, right? Your real world is in there. So I don't know, maybe, simulation theory is real. Who knows? All right, let me get to some of these super chats because a lot are coming in and I don't want to ignore them. Andrea, great question. Great. Look, that got me off on a nice tangent. So thank you. Andre Rye, what's up? If anyone goes rogue, it's Carl Nell. I hope he testifies. I hope Carl Nell testifies, by the way, at the upcoming hearing. I zero evidence. Okay. I'm just my opinion. I think he is going to testify at the hearing and potentially talk about how he knows this personally, that we are not alone. Right. Johnny Topside, I think disclosure happened a long time ago. Yeah. You see? And I see, that's everybody's journey, right? Everyone's going to think something different. That's why, there's just different kinds of disclosure. So when you hear that word disclosure, just remember there's different kinds of disclosure, different people's interpretation of disclosure. You got what the term small d disclosure, big D disclosure, right? The basic acknowledgement that we're not alone versus knowing all of the details about all the crashes and retrievals and reverse engineering programs, right? That's a different kind of disclosure. And it's probably different in every country with every culture. Us as Americans can get caught up in America's it. America's the world. Only thing that matters is in America. And rightfully so, a lot of countries, you kind of do that in your own place, right? It's very localized. And to some extent, how can you blame anybody for that? Yeah, I'm here in America. Why would I be worried about what, fucking, whatever Italy is doing? Like okay, great, but I live in America. I don't know what that rant was about. Anyway, all right. Android Paranormal. There were dates provided. Corbell said November 13th hearing, Immaculate Conception will be revealed. James Fox said this year, new unseen whistleblowers. Sure. And then next year when we roll around, there'll be the same sort of stuff. All right. I mean, again, I'm here for it all. Great. Love it. But the proof is in the pudding. You can tell me that your band's going to play all day long. And you can show me a cool flyer. But until I go and see the concert, I don't know if you're any good. I don't know if it's going to be worth my time. And everyone will decide for themselves. That's another thing. There's not one answer to this. Some people will feel fulfilled by the hearing afterwards. Some people will feel extremely disappointed because it didn't give them the things they want in their journey for the truth. And that's really it, right? Like, we just have to accept that of each other. That's essentially it. James Fox's new documentary is he's supposed to be announcing a date sometime soon. I saw a tweet from James. He's flying out to California. I think he's there today, meeting with distributors and stuff. So he should be able to announce a date near the end of the year. And what did you say? Yeah, the hearing November 13th, Immaculate Constellation, not Conception, will be, talked about supposedly. And potentially this whistleblower that leaked that stuff out will be testifying, right? So you could have potentially Tim Gallaudet, who is confirmed to testify, right? Probably about these underwater bases or what, I don't know entirely what he's going to testify. This whistleblower to talk about Immaculate Constellation, and then Carl Nell. Right? How many more people can they have testify? How much time do they have? How does that get divvied up? Is everyone going to get 5 minutes if you have 10 people testify? But and I'm looking forward to this. But the hearing I'm looking forward to the most is when they bring out the dude that says, I touched the craft. I worked on the craft. Yeah, this craft, that guy, I know it. No, no, a guy told you? No, no, no. Guy didn't tell me. I saw it with my own eyes. I touched it. This is what it feels like. This is what it is. This, or a body, right? No, I worked on the body. Oh, a guy told you there was an alien body? No, no, no. I touched the alien body myself, or I recovered it, or why, firsthand actual, I put my hands on the thing. Those people. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That will be the most exciting. But then again, where do you go after that? Once you have those people testify, you can't really have anyone else but those kind of people testify, right? After that, it becomes, well, let's go. More of that. And that changes everything. So, when I hear gloves are coming off and we're really going to get down and dirty, well, that's all you need to do. The answer is right in front of you. Again, I'm here for all the stories and I appreciate everything that people are doing. And I get that they want to keep themselves safe. And I think we also need to understand that the term whistleblower has taken on a new connotation, right? Because you got people going, well, there's people behind the scenes. They want to come out. You have whistleblowers behind the scenes that want to come out and tell their story, but they're afraid of this and that. Well, hang on a second. They're not whistleblowers. They're people who want to whistleblow. That's different, but they're not a whistleblower yet. You're a whistleblower when you blow the whistle, not talking up until that point. Edward Snowden was not a whistleblower until the moment he blew the whistle. Even everything up until that point, deciding to do it, right? So we have people who want to come out with information, but they're not whistleblowers, not until they actually come out with the information. But even then, again, I've always thought of a whistleblower as sort of breaking the law to blow the whistle, right? Essentially going outside the normal, line of releasing information, right? The legal way, or whatever, however way you want to put it, right? Just literally dumping information, WikiLeaks, that kind of thing, right? We have a new definition. These are people who want to come out and talk about secret government programs, but still protected by the government and told what to say by the government about those secret programs. I got to admit, it doesn't check in my mind at all. That doesn't make sense to me. But what do I know? That's why people and stories and is he credible? Is he not credible? That would all be moot if you just showed the evidence, the proof of the thing you're saying we have or things, right? Then it doesn't matter if so-and-so's credible or this person or that. Who cares? Oh, he's former intel, so we can't believe him, or he's this, or who cares at that? But if we got a UFO in front of us, there is no, that's all that matters. That would help eliminate a lot of that. Because I don't think you can blame people for being a little untrusting of the government and people from the government. There's a lot of history to back up some of those fears and trepidations. There just is. And each government across the country probably has their own history with that, right? So the citizens of that country may not fully trust their own government. And to some extent, that's healthy. I don't know if 1,000% trusting your own government all the way is healthy. That's probably when some of the worst things can happen, because nobody's looking. You can still, be a little cautious and still be patriotic and still love this country and still love everything about, I mean, a country is made up of its people, not its government. Right? I don't define America by our government. I define it by the people in it. And America is a beautiful place with hundreds of millions of beautiful people here. And I love America. I want the best for this country and the best for humanity. And then the question becomes, at what cost? Where do we go? What are we willing to do to get that or not do? All right, Legend says, everybody say what city you in. I love that. I'm in Seattle and love the Seahawks, and they won Sunday. This chat rocks. Have a kick-ass day. Patrick, you rock. Mods are all dope. Agreed, Legend. You're dope, my man. Thank you, brother. James Hook. What really drives you to keep doing this every day? How and why do you stay so committed? Do you see yourself ever stopping? Enjoy the work you do. Keep it up. Pardon me. That's a great question. I mean, one, this is my job. And I'm committed to doing a good job, right? Like I like working. On a personal level, yeah, I'm committed because this could be the most groundbreaking knowledge we've ever received up until now, right? To find out we're not alone. And hearing a lot of these stories from credible people gets me interested. It doesn't make me believe just yet, but I'm interested. Oh, so-and-so saying that? Colonel Carl Nell is saying this stuff? I'm peaked. My ears are peaked, right? I'm peaked. I'm interested. Doesn't mean I'm all in. Oh, aliens are real. He said it. No doubt. That doesn't carry me over the finish line, me personally, but it gets me interested. And again, I always have to remind myself that's the sidecar. I'm on the main ride here, which is the citizens of this world, right? Like James here and myself, right? And most of you watching, just normal everyday people who have had an experience of some kind, some high strangeness, something. That's what really keeps me interested in this. Because, could so many people be lying? And there's also not that filter in between, right? You go talk to your neighbor about an event or something, right? They just tell you directly what they saw, what happened. They didn't have to fill out a report and go through the government and get DOPSR approved and all this stuff, right? Like, there's no fit. It's raw. It's raw and real and authentic, encounter, engagement, information, data, however you want to look at it. And I am all about that, personally. So that's what keeps me in it. Do I ever see myself stopping? I don't know. Never say never. I don't know the future. Great question. Fantomos Fanto. Do you think dreams will play an important role in contacting the phenomena in our society? Seems like we take this for granted in Western culture. I wonder what an open study would look like. Sure. Great question. That would be interesting if that's how we connected with the phenomena was in our dreams. Yeah, that's a fascinating, that'd be a great movie or something, or TV show. That's an interesting idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of that. I might have missed. No, I didn't. I did. You know what? I'm gonna play something real quick for you. I saw a UFO video recently. Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I've been seeing a lot of UFO videos recently. All right. And I guess it just got me thinking, like, damn, dude, is it really there's just all these, non-human craft flying around? Or is it just we literally can't tell the difference between a plane and a balloon? Right? I mean, we know there's tons of stuff that fly around in the sky, and it's just interesting because I did this video about SpaceX and I showed a UFO, right? And then in the video, I kind of debunked it and said it's the hot staging ring. And people were mad. Why'd you even make this video? What do you mean? Because people thought it was a UFO and we clearly knew it wasn't. It's okay to debunk things in this community. You can still believe in this phenomena or be interested in it and want to debunk things. If anything, you should want to do that. Get the bullshit out of the way. Let's get the haystack smaller so we can get to that needle. Why would we want to just, you know what I mean? Or just saying, I don't know. But the idea that debunking something is like this horrific thing is beyond me. You should want it more than anybody. If you're a true believer in this topic, you should want things debunked more than anybody because you believe in the phenomena. So you should want the bullshit out of the way. If you're a skeptic and you don't believe and you think all this is bullshit, well, then debunking is nothing to you. You already think it's bullshit. You know what I mean? You're not trying to prove it's an alien. You're just trying to show other people that it's bullshit. But if you truly believe in this topic, you should be wanting to debunk things more than anybody. It should mean more to you to know what's real and not. So I find that very odd. I found that response odd. So let me show this video because again, you just see all these videos like, I don't know. Like, are we just everything a UFO now? And then it's wrong to like point out that, well, this is probably a balloon or this is this or what's wrong with that? Am I crazy here? All right, stay with me. Let me go full screen. Maybe some of y'all have seen this video. Let me just play it. Then we'll go with it.
Cazzo. Guarda. Stai registrando? Sì, sto registrando. Oddio. Che cavolo è? Oddio, è una cosa incredibile. Vedi. Prendi il telefono, registra pure tu.
Make it bigger.
Ma guarda. Oddio, assurdo, eh.
What is that thing?
Cazzo. Guarda.
All right, just start over again. I mean, what is that? Let me just keep it playing. I see so many videos like this. What is that thing? Right? There's so many satellites, rockets, drones, birds, balloons, people, candles, they float out or whatever those things are. Like there's all kinds of things. Then you've got like camera refractions and reflections and this, that, and the other, and the way cameras work. You have the human eye and its, inability sometimes to discern things, our brain, the way it computes it. We got a lot of things in our way, right? A lot of things in our way that can distort, you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, it's just okay to say that's a UFO, meaning unidentified. UFO doesn't mean alien, but a lot of people do assume that. You say, oh, it's a UFO. Oh, you think it's aliens? No, I didn't say that. Just said it's an I don't know. Maybe that's what we need to call them. Oh, look, it's an I don't know. Maybe that would work a lot better. So that's why I think I'm going to start calling UFOs I don't knows. I don't know about you. It's like UFO is an acronym, but it's also become a word on its own. Right? Meaning alien craft. But this thing is crazy. Like, what is it doing? What is that? See, I see that video and I look at it and I go, what is that thing? I cannot tell what that is. Is there probably some prosaic explanation? Yeah, I guess. don't know. And there's usually never enough information to determine, right? There's always like all this other information you don't have about the context of the event or the video or the photo or something to help you better understand and make a decision. And so what we're left to do is, I don't know. And I guess that's what it is. Maybe for some people, it just gets tiring to keep looking at things that you don't know what it is, and to keep looking at videos that you don't know what it is, and to keep hearing stories with zero evidence or proof behind it, and all these people with sources and, telling us things. We have zero clue what they're talking about behind the scenes, right? Sources and past information, and deciding on what to tell the public and what can be said and what cannot. And I don't know. But these videos are, I mean, this kind of stuff interests me the most, I guess. A video, a photo, something, something to study and look at and pick apart, I guess. But I'm still deeply interested in this topic, right? Because regardless of this, I still think there's alien life out in the universe, right? So the idea that aliens have come to Earth, that's a possibility, and are still here, right? Like, so regardless of the bullshit or whatever, I still firmly believe that there's something. I don't know, but I believe, right? Like, I think there is. I have faith that there's probably something. It's just, it gets harder and harder to believe and know the things that I'm being told are true about that here. Because, like, once you accept one thing, you got to accept everything underneath it. Right? It's like someone will come out with a story, yeah, this happened, and then you find out more about their story, and they're like, yeah, they'll say, okay, I had an encounter with the UFO, right? And then it becomes, oh, okay, they tell you that story. Then it becomes, yeah, and also when I was 12, I time traveled to the, oh, okay, and when I was 20, this happened to me too. Oh shit, okay, wow. Right. And then it's like, oh, my mom is also just happens to, and it's like, oh my God, right. It's like you pull the thread and it just keeps coming, and you're like, oh my God, I was on board when you just had this one event, and then it became this whole thing. Now every aspect of the phenomena you somehow have a connection with. Hey, what? You know, it's just a lot to take in there. That's what it is. It is a lot to believe without proof. People want us to believe this stuff without proof. Or is it just they want us interested enough to support the projects they're doing? That I'm in for. You want to research? You want to? Absolutely, I support it. Let's go. We're not going to know unless we do that. But eventually people are going to have to put up or shut up. That's also true. Right? The idea can't be we're so open-minded forever. Don't push back. Don't ask questions. But it also can't be so close-minded that you don't ever, look into it at all, right? It's a balance. But there has to be a finish line. There has to be a goal. There has to be a destination on this journey. Otherwise, what's the point? Android Paranormal says that's what Immeaculate Constellation is. The person who reported it had access to the government database firsthand with all the pictures and documents. I hear what you're saying, Android, and I respect your opinion, but that to me is not firsthand. Again, then there's different definitions of firsthand knowledge. That's why I said specifically, me, I want the guy who touched the crap, not saw pictures, not saw this, not saw that, had access to a database. Great. I love it. Awesome. Yes, please. We'll take data points, right? As Heiser on the channel here says all the time. The more data, the better. And I agree. I concur with that statement. We'll decide for ourselves. And that's how I feel. Give us the data. Show us that we'll decide for ourselves. Don't try to decide what's best for me, what's not best for me. Does humanity deserve to know? It would be too damaging for humanity to know. No, it wouldn't. We'll be fine. You don't have to tell us all the secret projects you got going on about these UFOs and aliens and reversing it. But at least you got to tell us that we have, it's real. Because then every story you tell after that holds a lot more weight. But every story you tell before that moment in time, people are skeptical of, and rightfully so. So if they just little d disclosure, every story or claim after that would just hold so much more weight. Right now, they're wasting their breath with a lot of this, trying to get people on board with a house of cards. I just can't believe there's not one person willing to come out and spill the beans for real and show something, like do something, you know what I mean? One person of the thousands and thousands that work on this. I'm not saying I would have that strength. Just probability wise, there isn't one person with, actual evidence and proof, not stories, not documents, again, that's not proof. Witness testimony is not proof. It's just that, witness testimony. It's a human being telling us what they experienced. And unfortunately, human beings lie. Even the person you think wouldn't. Unfortunately, everybody lies. It's on a spectrum, but everyone lies to some extent about something. And when it comes to this particular matter, we can't afford any of that. We're going to need the goods. You need me to accept the greatest discovery in mankind's history? Yeah, I'm going to need to see some proof. Number 3. Here's my theory. Many, not all of the visitors are our friends, and our governments contain the enemy within. Yeah, I love that. And I love that he posits it as a theory. Thank you, number 3, for doing that. I love that. Because a lot of times people just say, oh, I know it's this. No, you don't. Your theory is you think it's that. Please state it that way. And I agree. There's a lot of theories. And I love discussing the theories. They're some of my favorite things. We're actually starting a theories channel on the Discord for that, for people to put their theories about what this stuff is. That's what, honestly, I love talking about that. What are people's different theories on the phenomenon? Why we don't know things, why we know what we know, whatever, right? So many theories to talk about and speculate, which I think is important to do and fun to do and interesting to do and entertaining, right? To wonder about what these species would be like and what they're doing in this. But again, it's my ears perk up, and it's when people are like, no, I know this is what the species are, and this is their intention, and this is what's going on, and this is what's happening, and this date is coming, and they told me telepathically, and that. Okay. That becomes just this whole nother thing that I'll listen, but I'm not, I believe you. I better prepare. Sorry. Still Arise says, Still AI Rise. Sorry. My apologies. I record UAP on a daily. Please check out my latest post on here. All you need is the right equipment, infrared, and luck. The truth is out there. Sure. Hey, look, getting out there recording UAP, absolutely. Go for it. I love it. And I encourage more people to do that. The problem then becomes, hey, look at this alien craft I captured. Well, you don't know that. You capture something that's interesting, unidentified phenomena. I think sometimes too, with a lot of these pictures and video, it's like so zoomed in, you just don't know there's no reference. It's just like or a still frame, and a story is built around that. So I don't know, but yeah, here, Still Arise. If you have a YouTube channel, let people know. We'll send them to you, brother. Infrared, that seems to be the thing, right? Still, I've heard that, like infrared seems to be the light spectrum, or I guess non-light spectrum, that we should be searching for these. I mean, look, kind of getting out there and doing your own thing and looking for, like, I get it. Like, that's kind of it, right? That's your best bet. Okay, let's get to some questions, y'all. I've been just blabbing. Questions or comments? I'll throw them up here. Let's just throw up some comments from y'all. Lack of the government acknowledgement of all these mysteries of history leads want to believe that this has to be true. Johnny says you can't pay an AI because it doesn't need money, so how would you reward it for its work? It doesn't need reward for its work. But that's an interesting idea. Lou says IR and UV, but he doesn't give the specific wavelength to capture UFOs, I would assume. Catkins, right? That's what you're getting at. Rhett Carson says we need to seriously take a hard look at mythology and religion with the new outlook of NHI. I know it's been theorized, but I think these stories are ancient people saying what they culturally perceive. I agree. I think there's probably a lot of answers in our past. I agree with that. Well worth looking into. Psicoactivo podcast. What's up, Pavel? Says, unfortunately, reductive materialism still reigns supreme. Yeah, and to me, it can. At the end of the day, the truth doesn't care about any of that. And this NHI doesn't care about any of that. You always get the question, why don't they just reveal themselves? I agree. If the NHI would just come out, to everybody, we wouldn't need to do any of this, all these conversations. It's just like this balloon that keeps getting blown up and blown up and blown up and blown. Eventually, it's just going to like pop. Like, how far along can we keep going with the truth is just around the corner? It's coming. You're going to find it's going to happen. We just need to put this in place. We just need to do that. Like, it's coming. How far can we go with that? Guess we'll find out. Why is the FDA in charge of the light spectrum? What? I don't know what that means. Catnip. Triton says, why aren't we allowed to know who built the pyramids? The truth is out there. I just think people with our DNA are not allowed to know. Okay. I'm having a great time pooping while I'm listening. I did not mean to put that comment up. But to be fair, that's probably a lot of us on the internet. Jeez. Juan says, night shift with Clint yesterday was a great show. Hell yeah. Yeah, Clint's back, y'all. Clint from night shift. So thankful, him and his family, and as well as Allie and Justin from the show here, that everyone came back safe. Everyone's good. Still some issues, right? But everyone's healthy. So that's good. Any news on James James Fox doc. Okay, yeah, I talked about it early in the stream. It's coming out. I made an announcement that it's going to be, and he's going to be announcing a date soon. What does that mean? I don't know. He's meeting with distributors in California currently, and he's supposed to find, let us know as soon as possible. Hopefully by the end of the year, I believe were his exact words. Lucas Pestina, Veta, do you believe in contactees? It's a weird question, right? Because of course I believe in that, like believe in them or believe them, right? Like, yeah, they tell the story. I don't know. I'm very sympathetic to someone having this traumatic experience and telling me the story, like 100%. It's like if someone tells you the story if they saw a ghost or just something crazy happened that like I'm I'm open-minded and I want to listen and I'm sympathetic to someone's feelings and like what they're telling and so I want to hear the stories. And I think people should feel free to, feel safe to tell their stories without any ridicule, not laughing at them to their face of what they're saying. So that I do, we should do. Wait, what? Okay, here's Mads. Mads says, we do need a new law that states that any information regarding NHI or NHI crafts or any other NHI subjects is under any circumstances not included in any NDA whatsoever, including DOE constraints. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But again, even if you have these laws, doesn't matter, right? Supposedly these secret groups work outside the law, so it doesn't matter, right? Like again, trying to use the law against this entity that is the law, right? I mean, I just don't see how that's ever going to work out. Wouldn't you want to be rewarded for your effort, though? Well, that's an interesting question. And Johnny, I know what you're saying. You're talking about AI, right? Being rewarded. Well, oftentimes the reward is doing it, right? Do you not feel rewarded just by doing something, working hard at something, accomplishing it? That in and of itself is the reward. Now, if you're talking about salary, like payment for work you're doing so you can pay your bills, that's different. And AI won't require that. They will have no bills, but could a mechanism be built into the AI where they feel some sort of satisfaction or, quote, as you put it, reward for a task that they have completed? I mean, maybe. That's an interesting thought. I honestly never thought about it till now, till you're bringing it up. That's an interesting thought that you're thinking about, that these questions you're asking, Johnny. It's weird to me that the Food and Drug Administration regulates the light spectrum. Catnip, again, I don't know what you mean by that. How do they regulate the light spectrum? I don't understand. Nobody controls the light spectrum, right? I'm looking right now. The light photons flying around, like nobody controls the light spectrum. Maybe I'm confused here. Okay. Who is this guy? I just banned somebody. I don't know. I just see a bazillion messages from this dude. Ebony McKickass says, Patrick, wasn't it nice to hear from Colonel Carl Nell again in Global Disclosure Day live? We never see him. Yeah, I agree. And shout out to Helga, your cat, if I remember correctly, Ebony, right? Yeah, it was awesome. He hasn't spoke since the SALT conference, and it was great to hear from him. He's very, respectable and credible. And I would love to see him testify. That is true. it would have been great to have David Grush there too. I get that he maybe, pardon me, doesn't want to come out in the public anymore or whatever, but like, is that the last we've heard of David Grush? I hope not, man. Helga says hi. Hi, Helga. Let me jump down a bit. What? Tiger Town. Patrick, I think the real question is, will the government reveal evidence of alien life before they reveal themselves first? Maybe. Yeah, I agree. That would solve a lot of, people's personal problems with this with not the phenomena, but the disbursement of information about this phenomena. Right? Because I have to remind myself of that too. Like, let's say, former government official comes out, he talks, and you hear him, and you're just like, that guy's full of shit, man. So then you're like, yeah, this whole thing's full of shit. This is all bullshit. Right? I have to remind myself to not connect the phenomena with the government's push for disclosure, or the people privately trying to get the government to push for disclosure. Like, they're not connected. The phenomena is its own thing, and then you have all these entities trying to attach to it. Private corporations, nonprofits, the government, this, that, the right. But the phenomenon itself, and I have to remind myself to separate those two. But yes, if they reveal themselves first, I'm all about it. Hopefully it goes well. Chameleon says, Vetted, would you like to see Hal Puthoff at the next congressional hearing? Hell yeah. Absolutely, man. I think a lot of people would love to see Hal Puthoff testify and just do more interviews and whatnot, right? Apparently, according to the trailer for the program, James Fox's documentary, clearly Hal Puthoff is featured in that documentary. Now, how much is he featured, or at least in the trailer, pardon me, how much is he featured in the documentary? I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. I could think of a lot of people I'd love to see testify, to be honest. Patrick, can you provide DNA proof that you're not a hybrid reptilian or tall gray? You want me to provide proof I'm not something? Again. But no, I can't. And I am a hybrid reptilian and a tall gray all together. What do you think's under this hat, y'all? You don't even know. Marcus says, did you hear anything about the signal from Proxima B originally being heard 5 years ago, and how fishy, blurry the James Webb Space Telescope picture is, considering how close it is compared to further pictures taken? Well, no, I didn't hear about the signal originally being heard 5 years ago. Oh, yes. I know what you're talking. You're talking about BCL1, the Breakthrough Listen Candidate 1 signal, that in 2020 they released a paper saying it was human interference. And yeah, but as Simon Holland is putting it, there's new information, new data about this signal. So this report that you keep hearing, according to Simon Holland, it's old, right? These are conclusions they first came to about this, but as they studied it more, right? And that's what he's getting at. That's his whole point. So I think we're talking about the same thing. And then how fishy blurry the picture is, I don't know, but the James Webb Space Telescope is meant to see things far away, so I understand why up close it might be a little blurrier, to be honest. It's meant to be further. It's meant to catch things further away. Think of it like a telescopic lens, and something gets in front of it, right? It's going to be blurry. I could be wrong. I hope I'm addressing what you meant, Marcus. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to all the mods here who are just crushing it. Heiser, Justin, Allie, Daniel, Miss Brookers, Chris James, Jessica here. Thank y'all so much for all your hard work and dealing with some of the yahoos that are in the chat. There's going to be a few, right, trolls that show up every time. Nothing we can do about it. But they deal with them. So thank y'all so much for just being awesome. Fantomos Fanto says, will you react to the new MGM series Beyond UFOs 5 days ago until streaming worldwide? Sure. I'm super excited to see that show. To be honest with you, it's going to be sick. And George Knapp's documentary, dude, on Netflix. I'm stoked about that. That's going to be sick. That's going to be cool. Oh. No. Yeah, that documentary is going to be cool. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, the program, I guess, that's coming out. But yeah, the MGM series is going to be sick. The Project Gravatar, that's what it was. The Bob Lazar one. That's coming out too. And Ron James, The Next Accidental Truth. Still AI Rise says, my name is the same on all platforms. Still AI Rise. I posted my UAP video with 5 potential UAPs moving at crazy speeds in your Discord from 2 days ago. Sweet, man. Everyone that goes to Discord can check those out. Oh, I already. If the person that had the first-hand access to the Immaculate Constellation server advised Congress in a skiff where to access, and Congress said they verified it, is that disclosure to you? No. It's a disclosure, but it's not the disclosure that we're kind of talking about, right? Because how do we know what's in that database are aliens, right? Like, does that make sense? I'm looking for alien disclosure, not, yes, the disclosure of a new program, the disclosure of a crap, those are all great, right? Disclosing that kind of information is great, but that's not the big disclosure we're looking for, in my opinion. Teach their own. Ebony, was he right on the cat's name? Yes, I was, Miss Brookers. Okay, I was. Shout out, Miss Brookers. That would be a great band name, by the way, Miss Brookers. Come up next to the stage, Miss Brookers. And it's like this punk band, SoCal punk band. Just Marky says, unfortunately, power and greed play a huge part in humanity, and we all get frustrated with this topic coming out from the dark shadows of the government. Exactly. So it's like, where do you put your frustrations, right? I think what also becomes, I'm not saying this for anyone in particular, and maybe I'm guilty of it myself, but like when you hear someone just complain every day about this, it's like, dude, then get out. Then go do something out. Like, if you're going to complain every day that we don't have the truth, then what are you doing sticking around? Like, like now it's your, now it's your problem. But I get, moments of frustration that I understand, but someone just complaining every day, it's like, dude, okay, already, either do something about your frustration or just stop, look at the positives in your life. Like, don't invest in it. Then, like, step away for a moment, take a step back. Right? Because if every day you're tuning into Vetted for like disclosure, that's not how it's going to work. I'm reporting on claims and showing videos and photos and just kind of fun, entertaining stuff about this phenomena. because that's the best way to sort of glide on this smoothly till we get to the finish line. But if you're going to heavily invest yourself emotionally, you will be disappointed, right? It's basically like waiting for a date at the coffee shop that's never going to show up. You're going to disappoint yourself. I don't know if that's a good analogy. It's probably not. I'm not good with those. Does Schumer have the power to subpoena military witnesses? I mean, yeah, but yes, and that would all go a long way, to be honest with you. You know what? Let me just. Heiser says, "I want Hal in the stand so bad." Yeah, I hear you, man. That I agree. The Pretty Nikki, would you go live on YouTube if the NHI aliens chose you to reveal their existence to the public? I guess in a perfect world, yes, I would do that. Logistically speaking, I mean, I would be so suspicious if I got an email like, "Hey, dude, I'm an alien. We want to come out on your channel. What's a good time for you? Let me know when you're available." I don't know. What does that conversation look like? That's kind of funny. But yeah, sure. I would. I don't know who wouldn't. But I would have to verify first they're aliens. And what does that look like? How do I vet that? I'd probably say, sure, meet me in this field. We're going to live stream and let's go on your craft and take us for a spin. I've got to live stream it the whole way. That would be it. And have someone live streaming inside the craft, myself, and then someone outside at the bottom, kidding it all, maybe different angle, right? I guess, right? They would never choose this channel, but that is just fun, right? Just funny to think about how that email or DM I would get on Twitter from an alien. Steven says, "I want to see Wilson and Davis together in public. Maybe they would still be like, no, don't know this guy. Never happened." That's kind of funny. You're right. An interview with Sarah Gam would be interesting, don't you think? Okay, who are you, Alanis Morissette? Yeah, it would be interesting, don't you think? It would. She seems cool. Hal says there should be new people testifying instead of the original crowd to put down the circular reporting argument. Yeah, I hear you. And I think that's potentially what the whistleblower or the leaked whistleblower report, right, that talked about Immeaculate Constellation. I think that was the whole idea behind that person. They were, outside the normal group that looks into it, which interestingly enough is sort of confirmation that group exists. I don't know if they meant to do that. Michael Schellenberger, right? Like he kind of, by saying that, he's admitting there is this circular group reporting normally, right? That's kind of, you know what I mean? Which is interesting. But yeah, he's saying this person is outside of that. And that's, again, I don't know if that's who's testifying, but if Jeremy and other people are saying that Immaculate Constellation is going to be spoken about, I would imagine this is the guy going to come talk about it, or who else? I don't know. I like how Patrick handles certain questions. I like you. Thank you. Your eyes blink sideways every other 45 seconds. That's not true. It's 42 seconds. I've timed it. I'm an alien. Rhett says, what kind of backlash will happen when we find out we had free energy tech since the 50s or 60s? I don't think there'll be any backlash. I mean, there may be some, but nothing. People just move on. It's like, great. Okay. How do we use it moving forward? Let's focus on the future and, you know, not spend too much time worrying about, okay. So that's an interesting question, though. And yes, I think there's some sort of hidden tech, something hidden, like for sure. What that is, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand a lot of that stuff. And I know a lot of people around me pretend to be smart enough to understand it all. But, I don't pretend to know things I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. I'm smart, I'm dumb enough to know I don't know anything. So I leave those for the people far more qualified to discuss those topics. I love hearing about it and talking about it. Oh man, this might have been a bad idea, but unfortunately, there's a lot of loons in the UFO community. They make the rest of us look crazy too. Oh, okay. Yeah, there is. Is it possible that the Pentagon people are being controlled by the ETs? Bigelow. Is that it? Isn't that Clint's thing? Bigelow. Bob Bigelow. James Fox. All right. Know what James Fox said? And Bob Bigelow may have said it on his own. But yeah, there are ETs walking among us in the halls of Congress, right? In the government. Who, what? Is it the most obvious looking ones? Remember in Men in Black where the guy lands and he has to put the skin suit on and it's like all weird look, you know what I mean? Like doesn't fit and it just all, he obviously looks like some weirdo, right? Like, is it that kind of obvious? Mitch McConnell style? Like, again, I'm not political here, I'm just saying. Or is it just the person you would think least? I don't know. Hard to tell. Jim Girl says, do they still think something might be heading our way as in UAP? I'll be honest. I have seen zero proof of any of that stuff. It's just people talking, telling stories. Because the best story you can say is something that can't be proven for years out, right? And then when that time comes, people have forgotten about the original claim. Some people may bring it up, but and things change, right? Well, that's what we thought back then, right? So it's just such an easy way out to say those things. And it's such an easy way out to say, well, that's what I'm being told. That's what my source is telling me. That's why I look at a lot of this as entertainment. It's just bottom line. I kind of have to, me personally, because I run this channel too. So I'm probably in a different position than a lot of you, right? I have to stay motivated and hopeful about this every day to make videos and bring y'all content, right? I can't get cynical and depressed and down in the dirt about this. That's who's going to want to see that. I don't want to see that. My wife doesn't want that kind of person around. I don't want to be that person. I will fight against that with every grain in my body because I'm a very optimistic, hopeful, cheerful person day to day. Like that's just my personality. I like to laugh. I like to tell jokes. I like to keep things light. So yeah, I kind of have to, approach it in a certain way to not burn out and to be here for y'all. I don't know how far behind I am on comments, but if I am, my apologies. The problem with the public hearings is that the inside witnesses are not allowed to tell anything conflicting, a signed NDA. However, at this time, a hearing will be pushing the ball forward. I agree with that. And there's lots of ways to look at pushing the ball forward, right? Like, oh, we haven't gotten the proof of aliens. I get that, but we've also made advances in other areas of this fight that haven't been made before. So it's like, again, is the glass half full or half empty? It's just how you look at it, right? Android Paranormal says if James Webb Space Telescope was not designed to see things close up, then how did it get a perfect high-res picture of Jupiter? Don't fall for the misinformation, bro. Oh, guess I'm falling for the misinformation. All the mods are the best mods on the YouTube. I'm not just saying that either. I agree. We have the best mods, y'all. And the way it's all come together, right? I've had a lot of people ask to be mods, and we've just kind of kept it very tight and simple, and and they're the best. I agree. What do you think about the alien base that Danny Sheehan was talking about? I'm going to be making a follow-up video about that. So, yeah, I find it interesting. It's absolutely fascinating, especially giving a location like, no, right here. This is what I appreciate that, if I'm being honest, because it's like, okay, let's go let's find out what's information around. Like, I actually don't mind that. It's like saying, oh, there's a UFO so big they built a building around it. Where is it? I can't tell you that, because then everyone would go there. Okay, but now what do we do with that information, right? Oh man. Okay, let me try to catch up a little bit here. Holy cow, yo. The chat is coming in nuts. Love Neil Young. I thought it said love Nell Young, like you love Carl Nell when he was young. Like what? When I see him live for 3.5 hours, he played like he was still young. No pun intended, Heiser. Yeah, Neil Young's the shit. I'm with you. Do you think there are hybrids in the grocery store? I don't know what a hybrid is. Just kidding. Hybrids. I mean, sure. Sure, there's hybrids. There's one right behind you. Oh, no, I might have deleted something. I didn't mean to. God, you hit one button on this thing. Who made the prediction or whatever last year there would be technology that come in contact by 2027? I've got some information on this. I almost made a video about it today. And by the way, I'm feeling a lot better, surprisingly, just talking this whole time. You would think me being under the weather, that would not have been a good thing, but I'm fine. So I think it's John Ramirez, ex-CIA, revealed 2027, right? This date. As it's being claimed on Twitter. Again, this is not my claim. I'm reporting on it. I'm being asked. I'm reporting on it. This woman named Anjali is saying she's the one that told John Ramirez about this back in 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2021 about it, right? She told him that this was happening and that the council told her. What council? She doesn't know, but this alien council told her. I don't know. You can take that for what you will. Who is Anjali? This woman. I made a video about her. If you look back in August, it was like there was like a planet-sized object headed our way or something. That's the video. I'll add the link in the description after this, hopefully, if I remember. But yeah, this former intelligence officer that came out saying that she had some experience with the phenomenon. She contacts them regularly, I believe. Don't hold me to that, and gets information from them. And one of them was about this 2027, and that's where it's coming from. So do I believe that kind of stuff? I do not. Just going to be frank, just going to be honest. I've thought about, how do I answer that publicly? How do I say that right? And I thought, just say it, Patrick. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe any predictions. Unfortunately, I'm not into that. I immediate red flag for me. Because again, what happens when those predictions don't come true, when they come forward, right? Do they pay the price? No. And it's always just enough time ahead so that they can just get some breathing room. Right? I've set that up that far ahead. Right? Because what's going to happen in 2027 when that doesn't come true? She's going to say, well, that's just what I was told by this alien council. Again, people should just believe what they want, and that's it. Bottom line. Me personally, I don't put down anybody who wants to believe that, nor do I praise anyone who doesn't want to believe it, right? Like it's your life. Believe what you want. Me personally, I don't believe it for 1 second. All right. This guy has put this question like 47 times. So Sting Floyd, you live like, my God, dude. I gotta admit, you really want an answer here. So let me give it to you. I don't have an opinion on that. Ramirez said he has shared everything he can already. Again, great. You shared it. I don't believe it. I'll tell you what I'm looking into. Cuba. Cuba, right? Specifically a school sighting from 1996, potentially 1995. Fascinating. And looking into Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay sightings as well. And a document that I found, it's out publicly, about an encounter of UFOs at Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay from 1968. Super interesting. There's just so much about Cuba and UFOs. It's pretty fascinating, because I was looking into Danny's underwater base by Guadalupe Island, however we're going to say it. And it started to lead to all these other sort of underwater bases. Apparently the Bahamas, right? That was a big thing recently. Malibu, like, there's all this stuff that you hear, which is fascinating, to be honest with you. There's a lot to dig into, but that's what I've been thinking about. Cuba. How about the Jon Stewart emails from the DARPA lady? How quickly we forget. No, we don't forget, Craig. The problem is there's so much information, it gets overlooked. And that might be on purpose. I don't know, right? We can't forget about the candles we light. I think I said that yesterday in Discord, and people liked that saying. So I'm just going to take credit for saying something awesome. And all I meant by it was, these things happen, right? This, for example, this DARPA or this or that, and then we get all excited, and then we just move on from it. We just literally move on. Like, well, wait, what happened to that thing over there? Like, and this and that. Okay. Oh, okay. We're over here now. Like, watch. David Grush's investigation will be forgotten. The X on the treasure map His whole investigation, the 40 witnesses, this is where the beings in craft are. It will be forgotten. And we'll just move on to other stuff. Like, it's just crazy. So I agree. Yeah, like how quickly we forget. Now, the DARPA email, that specifically, I don't believe that woman. No offense. And it's a man, not a woman. Right? Because they emailed me. I also got an email from this person. And they also said they never worked, they worked for DARPA for like 2 months. Or tangentially connected to DARPA. That's not where their career was. Night Fury says, got to take off for my cancer treatment. Have a great day, all. Hope you feel better soon, Patrick. Me? I hope you feel better soon. My goodness gracious, Night Fury. Forget about me. I will be fine. My best to you and your treatment and your family. And I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with that. Ty says, don't dance. Chad is going to clip the hell out of that. I'm a horrible dancer, by the way. You would think I am not a good dancer. This guy, see, this is what gets me. 1968 was definitely almost the height of the Cold War, and Cuba was a big part of that. And nobody thinks about that. Well, no offense to you, Michael, but you leave the most god-awful comments about me in this channel every day. And now I see this picture of you. It all makes sense. Normally, I wouldn't do something like this, but my God, dude, I don't block. I unblocked everybody, so I'm trying to just be cool about that. But my God, dude, you leave the worst takes of anybody I've ever heard. The comments are vile, mean, disrespectful, and that's why no one interacts with you. Me personally, I would never respond to one of your comments. Hey, I'm just trying to give you some advice here. You want to keep commenting on the channel? If you want some interaction from me, I suggest you take the advice that honey is better than vinegar, right? To attract flies, whatever the saying is. So there's that. I can't get the image out of my head of that Angeli video where henchmen surround her as she makes her Galactic Federation of Light speech. Angeli. That's no, Todd. Anjali, not Angeli. Although that is a funny name. Angeli. Coming this fall. Angeli. And I believe that's not her real name. I think that's what the name the aliens gave her. And she said it wrong the first few times. Yeah, she's got people behind her. I mean, it's so weird. She's in a wheelchair. Like, I'm sure the woman is a great woman. Personally, but I don't believe what she says. Me personally. I mean, no disrespect by that. That's my choice to believe her or not. I'm not being disrespectful about her. I'm not calling her names. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just saying I choose not to believe her. Ebony says, did Patrick take some cold meds that are making him extra funny today? No, I didn't actually. But I guess I do feel a little, this is what it's like hanging out with me the majority of the time, Ebony. I love laughing, joking. Luis Elizondo, kids in a sandbox, 0 point energy. Yeah, that's from the Jesse Michaels interview, right? And that's a great interview, by the way, right, with Luis Elizondo. That's a really good interview. Highly recommend that. Yeah, it was like he was leaving a clue there, right, about that sandbox, and yeah, I agree. Interesting answer. I found your answer as being apprehensive because there is a clear movement to divide into even further tribes. Oh, you're allowed your opinion. Sometimes I don't have an opinion on something, and that's okay. You know how people are so quick to just have an opinion on everything? And what? Just because I have a channel, my voice means more than yours? It doesn't. I don't mean anything more in this community than you do. And my voice and my opinion doesn't mean anything more than yours is. Yours is equally as valid as mine. So there's just some things I don't have opinions on. I think that's okay. It's not about apprehension. You don't have to read into every single thing that happens in this community as it being something else. Sometimes things are just what they are. In fact, more than not, that is what it is. So if I say I just don't have an opinion, I just don't have an opinion. That's simple. But I agree with you about the tribes. Yes, and tribalism is not a healthy thing. And it can get out of hand very quickly. And it absolutely is in this community as well, which is why we're building the vetted community so that we can try to minimize a lot of that. Mm. I will say that I am Grush is in the middle of a lawsuit. That is true. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. He's suing the sheriff's office, I believe, right, of where his medical records got released about that Ken Klippenstein article. That's a fair point. That could be a reason he's out of the limelight, if you will, right? For sure. I am really looking forward to this hearing, by the way. And there's supposed to be another hearing in the Senate, right, with Arrow and the new head of Arrow about UAP. Grush is under oath and documented. It's only forgotten if we let it be forgotten. Well, that's a fair point, Heiser. That's a fair point, brother. Get well, Night Fury. Agreed. Get well. Galactic Hurricane. What a great name, right? That sounds like an 80s hair metal band. Galactic Hurricane. Patrick, you really have to look into the new heavily redacted Tic Tac document by John Greenwald at the Black Vault. Yeah, dude, John's been putting out some great stuff. I haven't had a chance to keep up with it. There's just so much that comes out. Definitely. If you're not following John Greenwald, you're missing out. You should be following what he's doing for sure. Yeah, tell me more about it, Galactic Hurricane. I'd love to hear you talk about that. If you know more, come in our Discord after party. I'm going to stop at 2 here. So in 12 minutes, I'm going to stop and go to the Discord after party. If you want, join us. Let us know about it. That'd be cool. Patrick is done with the BS. I don't know. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Patrick, you're doing great work. Appreciate everything you do. Great outlook. Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys. Catch more flies with honey. That's it, Marcus. Michael says, and you know what, dude? I'm going to keep leaving him because you can't just say things. You're just here to hype stuff up, man. And honestly, I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. You're entitled to your opinion. What I'm not entitled to is, what you're not entitled to is for me to have to listen to it. Right? You can keep doing it, man. But I'm just a warning to you. If you keep leaving vile comments, I will just ban you again. I've been trying to give you space. I'm giving you a warning here as a man, right? trying to act like you're a big man, has all the answers, and none of us do, but you do. We should listen to you. I will ban you. I won't even deal with it, dude. Don't have time for this. Like, at all. The henchman was actually the moderator of the Disclosure Day presentation from New Paradigm Institute. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what y'all are talking about, though. Ray says, don't be a dick. Some of the best advice you can give. Exactly. Don't be a dick. Nobody cares what your opinion is. Just don't be a dick. Like, well, listen, but don't be a dick. Like, who wants to listen to people like that? Like, people blow my mind. They come into our Discord or comments or live chat or something so aggressively on Twitter, like so aggressively, and they get so frustrated that no one's listening to them. And they just go, I'm just so mad. Great. No one gives a crap. Because you're mad, you get to act like a dick, and we're all just supposed to go, oh, guys, he's mad. Hang on, he's mad. Oh my, you're mad? Well, then, everything's okay. Then let me turn around, kick me in the ass again. Go ahead. You're mad. He's mad, y'all. He's mad. Yeah, he's fine. Jeff, he's just mad. We don't care. Just be respectful. Then tell us your opinion. Talk about your opinion. But this idea that I'm just going to come in like a raging bull and expect people to listen to me and respond to me, and why am I not getting any interaction, right, is beyond me. But obviously, if someone doesn't have the sight, the vision to see that, right, they're not going to see that they're doing that anyway, right? Like, again, like, what is the point you're trying to do? Are you just want people to listen to you say words? Are you trying to change a mindset? Like, what do you want? You want attention? Do you want just to be listened to? Do you want people to change their opinion based off things you tell them? What are you doing? Right? Because all of those require a little bit of respect. Approach people with a little bit of respect, right? And you'll actually see how far you can go with somebody. Because if you're actually so upset by something and want to see it change, clearly coming in an aggressive manner to get that change isn't going to work. So you actually don't care about it. You actually could care less. All you want is for people to know that you saw it, and you're the, it's all ego and pride and selfishness actually on their part, right? Or just having a bad day. Some people seem to have a bad day every day, and they want to take it out on you. So don't stand for it. All right, y'all, 8 minutes, and I'm going to stop. You have a lead CT opportunity. I can't understand even what you're writing, dude, to call the people out. And sometimes to your credit, you have. I don't care, dude. No offense to you. If you think I've called people out or not called people out, if you're so motivated to do something, go start your own channel. Stop shitting on mine. Just go do your own. Again, I'm happy to hear constructive feedback and criticism, but it's just so disruptive, dude. Like, it blows my mind. And then people will be real mean to you and then come back with love. Like, now, you know what I mean? Now let's talk. So weird. People are so weird. Where did the name for the channel arise? I just thought it was cool. If I'm being honest, thought it was cool, and it wasn't taken. See, when you create a business or you create a channel or some podcast or something creative, you have to check. I mean, it's kind of just a typical thing. You got to check different platforms to see if that name's taken. Is a website name taken? Is social media handles taken? Right? Does someone have that name already? Right? That's what you're looking for. Sometimes you can't just have what you want. Right? You can have what you want within certain limitations. It's just how it works, right? So for me, it all worked together. I thought it was cool, and it encompassed. It wasn't about one thing. It wasn't about UFOs, right? Because I want to expand Vetted to discuss way more topics. So that's why it's set up that way. All right, 5 more minutes, guys. Why did you choose the theme song? Why did I choose it? I thought it was cool. Sounded cool. Sounded like the Fight Club song. So I liked it. No real reason. Just thought it was cool. Can we get to 40K subs, chat? Where are we on subs? I should know that, right? I know we're under 40. We're getting there. We'll hit that very soon. That's going to be awesome. For sure. This has been awesome today. It flew by for me, to be honest with you. Although I've been up here yapping like an idiot for 2 hours. So of course it flew by. That's the ego in Patrick, right? Always thinking about himself. Can you and Jeremy join on a podcast together? Have you reached out? Yeah, that would be cool for sure. He's busy. No, I haven't reached out. He doesn't really do a lot of interviews. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to force it. I don't think he would come on, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's. To be fair to Jeremy, he would be fun to interview because I feel like he would take on some of these hard questions and like not, you know what I mean? He would be down to have like a deeper conversation about it, and I respect that in a lot of ways. So I could see him. That would be a good conversation because I'd really ask him some tough questions. At least what I would think are tough. Maybe to him they're not, but I definitely would ask questions that are different questions. I want to know different things, and I think he'd be down for that. So that would be cool, and maybe hopefully that will happen. Robert Peachy wants to know what you think about John D'Souza. I don't have an opinion on him. I've heard him talk on Redacted. He also gives predictions and stuff, I think. So, I don't know. Interesting. All right, guys. This is it here. This is our community. I moved to vote people out. I do not, Andre. Unfortunately. We need the most people here. Yeah, some people will just inevitably it will happen organically. You don't need to worry about it or do anything. The people like that don't fit, don't jive. Like we have a good, let's say for a Discord, for instance, you can tell immediately how the temperature changes when someone new comes in who's super aggressive and super whatever. Like it immediately changes the whole dynamic because of how we interact in there. And most people either get the hint, like figure it out, or someone says something to them and they kind of slow down because they might be used to it in other servers and things. So I want to give people the benefit of the doubt first, right? Then give them an opportunity to sort of adjust like your tempo and your speed, because that's a private server. Like, we're having the conversations we want to have in there, right? Like, if you want to do something else weird, aggressive and be mean, and that, I'm sure there's servers for that, but not ours. That's like if I'm having a party and someone wants to come over and, break everything and whatever, I'll just be like, hey, dude, come on, man, freedom. Yeah, not in my house, right? We're all trying to have a party here. You can go break your own house. Like, people seem to think that they're allowed to come into your thing and just act however they want, because who cares about people's feelings, right? We need the like, great, that's your opinion, but you don't just get to push that on everyone. All right. So yeah, anyway, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Cannot wait. I'm very optimistic and hopeful for what's coming because of where I set my expectations. So that's all I recommend to you. Again, do what you want, it's your life, whatever you want. Me personally, I set my expectations in a certain way so that I'm not disappointed, essentially. But I can't wait for the hearings. We'll see what happens. There is a lot more stuff to cover. Again, going to be doing a deeper dive on this underwater base off the coast of California and about Cuba. Very, very interesting there. So anyway, there'll be more stuff to come up. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys in the Discord after party. Thank you all so much for hanging out. This was awesome. Again, love you guys so much. Thank you to the mods and the vetters for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Remember,
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.